That's funny.
Welcome everyone to the Tesla Beat 122. Hans is not here this week, but we hope that you guys all had a wonderful holiday. Shout out to those that are in the U.S. Happy Thanksgiving. But what a great time, at least for me. Just spending time with loved ones, kind of remembering, why we're all here, what we're all doing. So it was a great time. But how about you guys? How was your couple of holidays?
Well, I didn't have a Thanksgiving yet. I'm having it today because my extended family's gotten too old for this kind of nonsense. They are too far scattered and all that. So today I'm having my Friendsgiving. So if you're in Longview at 1 p.m., message me and I'll get you hooked up. Turkey, not illegal in any country I'm aware of. So we're going to party it up. We're going to get nice and sleepy. How about you, Joe?
Yeah, no, we had our Friendsgiving yesterday. It was amazing. The family decided same thing, a little too old. We get together for Christmas, so I was all good with that. But yeah, it's fun hanging out with the people who I can talk end to end over with Tesla and everything else.
Yeah, it's always a fun topics. But yeah, it's been a crazy year. I can't believe we're less than what, like 32 days away from the end of the year, 33 days. But yeah, shout out to our video sponsors, Insta360. Make sure you go check out their cameras. They're posted in the link below. I'm using the Link 2C. It's a great camera that's really portable, that allows you to go anywhere and shoot in very high quality video. So, all right, guys, let's get into it. There is never a slow week in the Tesla world. Yeah, I love this special edition artwork that Joe used Grok, the Fud Fighters on top of a turkey. All right, the stock. It has in the past week. I'm gonna have to actually. I did not pull the year to date, but the year to date, real quick, is up 13% year to date. But there has been a huge flip since last week. I mean, you're seeing it bottom out at like 387, and then it flopped all the way up to 430. Really, the whole market is doing that right now. So this is
Yeah.
not anything Tesla specific. The crypto market as well is doing that too. So just something to be aware of, that there's been a lot happening, and at least, again, this is not any like financial advice, but I feel like every year it does typically start to pump and then it crashes like in early January. That's at least, I feel like, what I've seen the past couple of years. But yeah, that's just something I've taken notes of. Joe, we'll pass the champ is here to you, man.
The champ is here. Yeah, this is pretty cool. So, Australia and New Zealand, Model 3 is awarded Best Passenger Car of 2025 by Driven Car Guide AA. So, that's pretty cool. The Model 3 stands strong as a passenger car in its own right, they said. So, they get it. They get it.
It's weird that they get it. A lot of these legacy publications will find any reason to say, you know what's really good? The Hyundai Sonata. It's 1% better than last year and only 2% more expensive. And to me, I say, I like that they pointed out that you don't have to appreciate the FSD, the amazing UI, the
Right.
incredible software under the hood to appreciate that this is just plain a good car, which I would argue as a driver, it is a great car, but driving, come on, man, that's so old fashioned.
People still do that. So weird.
So weird.
So weird. Yeah, it's especially in well, thankfully there hasn't been I know there's been some weird, I think, media here and there that I've seen in Australia. I do know that in general, I think they're more focused obviously on petrol. At least that's kind of like my overall feel, at least from the couple of people, Australians, that I've talked to. But yeah, I mean, you at the end of the day, like the product, as you can see, you make a good product, it's gonna speak for itself. I mean, even seeing Edmunds doing some good reviews here and there is kind of like crazy and unique, at least here in the US.
Yeah.
But great to see this, and see the reviews going out. So, all right, Tesla Oasis is open, the world's largest supercharger. Hey, well, there is something now bigger in California than Texas again. It's 164 total charging stalls. So if you look at this, you can see in the bottom right, you can see the huge solar farm that they've created. This thing is pretty much completely run off the sun. And they put several megapacks and things like that to store all of the energy. But 164 stalls, they're all active. They originally, I think, only launched 80, something like that. And now they've launched everything, and they still are yet to launch the lounge, which should come soon. But this thing for the holiday season, they got it all up and running so that people are not waiting in long lines and they're just coming in and going quickly. So definitely, if you are going to LA, you need to make sure to pull off into this one. Is I forgot what city. It's in Lost Hills, so
Right.
just find it on the map. But it's pretty much
It
past.
shows up now in the vehicle.
Yeah. So it's on the way down to LA. But yeah, go ahead, Brian.
It's so cool. It's huge. It's there's a little confusion as to whether it's off grid or not. It's not quite off grid. It's capable of off grid operation almost every day of the year. This holiday weekend with the busy travel season, people would deplete those mega packs. The sun is not sufficiently reliable to charge 100 cars at a time. But it's only got like a 1.5 megawatt connection, which means that while you're drawing down those mega packs all day, it is still recharging from the grid as it's capable of doing. It just doesn't have to do that all the time. And with so much solar, they approached it the same way we approach vegetables on a holiday like this: can of peas.
Yeah, no, this is probably one of the cooler things you get to see from Tesla. This is like them showcasing like all of their muscles, right? They built this in 8 months. Like this is like completely by the sun, like Brian was saying. It doesn't have to be 100% of the time. They are they positioned themselves rather well to be able to use the grid when needed. But I mean, even Max had mentioned that they realized like this corridor area was very, you know, concentrated with traffic, and so they wanted to make sure that they took care of it. Of course, this is my area, and we are the darlings of Tesla, so that's good to know. Good to know they're looking out for us.
Well, you went out there when it first opened at partial capacity, didn't you?
Yeah, John too.
Yep, we both did.
Yeah, we both went out there.
Yeah, I'll be going by it probably December 5th time. I'll be going out and checking it out. But yeah, what I'm really personally looking forward to is the lounge, because I've scoped it out. It's cool that it's all operating now. I'm looking for I really want to see the lounge and how that whole experience is.
Yeah.
But either way, it's still really cool. I mean, yeah, just seeing this. I mean, this is a huge investment. I mean, look at this bottom left photo. I mean, this is but either way, it's just super cool that you can see kind of the full vertical integration of this.
Yeah,
And
yeah, they're not messing around.
yeah, 100%. And I would assume, given this, they probably bought the land and stuff too. So, but obviously, what do I know? All right. So, what's in the box, Joe? What's in the box?
Turkeys, not shaped like that, but turkeys in the box.
Do we know?
I wonder what's in the left-hand side, right? Here we have Las Vegas police out just delivering turkeys to those in need this holiday season. And what cooler way to get a turkey delivery than in a Tesla Cybertruck? Looks pretty cool. But yeah, no, just Tesla always just kind of, or well, I guess in this case, this is Las Vegas police, but I think definitely always giving back during this time of the season is important. All right, Joe, this one's to you.
FSD 14. Someone mentioned on X how it's like a teleport button. Who knows who said that? It could have been anybody. Anyways, so yeah, see right here. It's but you know what's cool about 14.2? Like I've been using it, the Model Y and the Cybertruck. Like it's, I mean, I don't know like how many orders of magnitude or whatever, but it is a step change for sure. Like this is even over 14.1 and definitely over 13. Like this is like it does pretty much everything. I'm at 99.9% FSD drives over 700 miles because my wide tires I have to take over sometimes to make the turns, 8-point turns. But no, this is pretty cool. And Elon said 14.3 is where the big piece of the puzzle finally lands. And I think a lot of people have showcased a little bit of the regressions here and there, like the little bit of the jerks or whatever. But overall, I think everybody can agree that they see a path forward.
On Model Y, I think we're spoiled. I think our version is a little more refined than what's on the Cybertruck. I have still seen some regressions. I made a video. I got trapped on the roof of a parking garage. It was just really excited to just keep turning right, and that's not how you get out of here. But it was. It's nice to finally have the very beginning and very end of a drive handled. Not that I don't know how to park a car, but for a robotaxi future, you can't just get it to a destination and then have a valet take over. That's insane. So yeah, this is nice to see. And this is the worst it's ever going to be. Guys, if you have hardware for you are in a country that has FSD, you probably got it. You probably got a 30-day trial. If not, it should be out in the next day or so. Check it out. Don't take my word for it.
Yeah, this is not like a soft shill. This is a shill. Like FSD 14.2, they just even released 14.2.1. It really like I said, you might get some issues when you go into like super heavy, like when you're trying to park in a super busy area on like a Black Friday, like literally today. But the reality is that all of my drives are pretty much all handled here. Sometimes I don't like the parking choice, so I might start to take over. I was driving to Costco the other day, and it wanted to park. It was literally the day before Thanksgiving, and I was like, I don't want this going around for 20 minutes because I want to get in and out in 20 minutes. So, but for the most part, like just all of my driving is done by the FSD. It's literally as the post said, it's literally like a teleport button, right? It's just you sit, you watch, and you get there, right? So it's one of those things where don't take our word for it. Go and test drive one. See if you can borrow. You might get access to an overnighter. Go check with your local sales center and see what they can offer you, because it really will. It does change your life in so many ways. And so and now we've talked about safety. We've talked about how the cars get better with every single software update. Now I would say that like Tesla's FSD has gotten to the point where that's where it's just like it's no longer about some of the other great things about the car. Like this is the reason to go get it. The car will literally drive you from point A to point B, and pretty much be absolutely perfect the whole way. So, and then it has obviously the other reasons why you would go drive it, but it's gotten that good, and each version that they release is getting better. All right, Joe, this one's too. Oh no, you did the last one. All right, so guys, this is if you're watching in Europe. You have been sitting back and watching us in the United States, now Australia, and potentially, I think even Korea and China now. But the US got this literally five years ago in like 1 month, right? There was a bunch of beta testers that got it back in October of 2020. And here is the big moment, the start of the big movement that's happening in Europe, right? So Sawyer posted some news. It said Tesla is asking owners in Europe to contact Dutch regulators via the link to express their excitement of FSD. And then I think, didn't they respond and say, stop contacting us?
Yes,
but
they did.
And then Sawyer responded, no, keep contacting them, because like they need to know that people are excited. But really, I think it's on hold on, maybe I was thinking it was a different post, but Tesla just posted yesterday that you can now, I believe it's Italy, Germany, and what is it, France? It was like 3 countries that you can essentially, get, ask for, like a supervised ride, right? Or something like that. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
I don't.
No? Okay. Maybe I'm missing that one, but,
No,
either
you're right.
way.
There was a post about how you can just it was like a FSD 14 tryout now type of thing, but I mean, still the regulators
Yeah.
have to get on the
Yeah.
ball.
And Tesla has been they've said, I've seen multiple employees talk about the amount of work that they've had to put into the documentation and process of all of this. So in the bottom right, you can see Tesla has been working hard towards shipping FSD in Europe for over 12 months now. We've given FSD demos to regulators of almost every country, and we requested early access pilot release programs or exemptions where possible. So yeah, it's rolling out. Like I said, I believe that they just. I'm gonna pull up the post here just so I can look at it. But I do know that you will be able to hopefully experience this in the coming months. Again, this is all depending on regulators. But yeah, let me see if I can find that post because I really want to read it. Obviously, I won't be able to um, read it out loud, but here, let's see. Where do they? Okay. Come experience FSD supervised on your local roads. Ride along in the passenger seat to experience how it handles real world traffic and the stressful parts of the daily driving, making the roads safer for all. And this is available in Italy, France, and Germany. So I got them right. But yeah, so it looks like you can sign up. Again, go to Tesla underscore or Tesla Europe on X, and there will be links there. It's the latest post. So if you're in Europe, go and experience it. Sign up if you're in those 3 countries. But a lot of work has been done to get to this point. So pretty exciting. All right, Joe, this one's for you, man.
Yeah, I think this is probably one of the coolest things to date. They have this all-in-one Tesla center in India that's going up, and it says here Tesla launched in its largest Indian facility, the all-in-one Tesla center in Gurugam. I don't know how to say that. Offering sales, service, delivery, charging, and showcasing the Optimus Gen 2 robot. So they like pulled out all the stops for opening up this location, which is pretty amazing to have everything all in one like this. Like this, it says here this opening follows the High Court injunction protecting Tesla's trademarks against local companies using similar names, preventing consumer confusion. Because you know how that is over in India and China, like Tesla or Tesla. There's all kinds of ways that people like to use the name.
Well, if you've never driven a real Tesla, then have you lived? You're paying too much, is what's going on. The India market is taking off really, really slowly. It's a very expensive car in that market. It's still like $70,000-$80,000. A huge improvement over the 150, 200-ish it was prior to Tesla's official arrival, but it's still very expensive. It's prohibitively expensive. I know there were discussions internally about what the actual price should be, and one camp was saying we got to price it right out of the gate, and the other camp said let's start high and see what the market interest is, and it looks like they started too high. So hopefully this will at least get some more important eyeballs into showrooms and some important butts into seats.
Yeah, I think for Tesla, like especially in this area, this is a way to do it because they don't need to. They're playing the long game, right? It's not about like getting all the sales and stuff right now. It's about being there for decades and future iterations, and the long game is where they're at with this. And I could see this being like a vehicle for them in the future. Like who knows what mobility happens, how it transitions, especially for that area. And I mean, they have boss battle driving, so it's going to be very interesting to see when FSD is able to roll out over there as well.
Even city to city, though, once you're out of the city, it's not quite as insane. It's
Oh,
still
okay.
it's still very crazy because a lot of the highways are not what we would think of as high. They're not interstates in
Yeah.
the sense that there won't be, a local traffic merging in and across them at all times. You'll still see quite a bit of that in quite a few places. Uh, it's a challenge, but having seen how well FSD behaves in places like Rome, and in Amsterdam, we've seen footage of that. It's a very capable system, but it's not available yet in that capacity in India, and it's not going to work everywhere today, but it'll get there soon.
Yeah, I think I think I've been seeing the Tesla India page post. I think they just posted something in the past day where more owners are getting it. But yeah, I mean, maybe my question to the panel, but maybe more specifically, Brian, is like, how important is India as a market, would you say? Like
So
in automotive space or just in general?
I made a video maybe 3 years ago now, maybe three and a half, saying Giga Mumbai is next. And that generated a lot of controversy from people in and out of India saying it doesn't make sense. The market's too small. The people are too poor. Well, their 1% represents, 10 million people. 13 million people is their 1%. If you could tap into just that market, you would have more than enough sales. That's a 13 million is a lot of people. That's more buyers than you would find in Canada, and we care about that market. So how big is the market? The problem with the Indian market is it is dominated by domestic brands, of which there are quite a few, and they are all um, respected for being domestic. Um, and the domestic brands are so much cheaper. I mean, just ridiculous. You can get a pretty decent car for 14, 15,000, and or a Model Y for 75, 80,000. It's tough. And you can get a really good domestic car. And when I say really good, I almost say it sarcastically because it's still a Tata or a Mahindra, but for 50,000. So the price difference is there, but the quality difference, there's an ocean of difference. How important is the market? I would say if they decided to set up a domestic factory, they would have the entire supply line already ready to go. India has a strong automotive domestic market for all the parts, everything except batteries, which are underway. They're working on those now, um, and they would be, I think, wise to do it. But if Tesla wants their 20% margins, they'd rather do it on 50, $80,000 cars rather than $20,000 cars.
So when Amy used to be on the podcast, she would always talk about India, and I think one of her biggest things about it was using it how Tesla uses China, right? Like export, because from there you can do a lot. And I think like that's like they just need to get in. Like for Tesla, they're just like let's just get in, figure it out, and go from there. I think they have a bigger vision for the company from that area. I don't think it's just about like yeah, I mean, yeah, that's 13 million people for that top 1%, but I don't think like they need to sell all those people cars. You know what I mean? I think
Absolutely.
yeah, I think this
Absolutely.
they need to get in there.
I haven't heard Amy's thoughts, but she sounds right to me. As an export hub, you don't have access to all countries, but what you have is access to a number of different countries that are not favored by China's trading partners, that are not favored by necessarily US. So a lot of the world would have favored trading partnerships with India, especially if you're going to be exporting to, say, Africa, South America, more of the developing world. Especially if you're going to be exporting to countries that are right hand drive, which India is, but also the UK, New Zealand, Thailand, a lot of places. Um, Something like 30% of the world is still right hand drive, but not 30% of the automotive sales. It's something small. The number is much smaller if you go by sales than by country count. But yeah, there would be, to me at least, a lot of sense in using it as an export hub.
Nice.
Yeah, no, and I think with India, like you're seeing them slowly spread as they launch, these new sales centers. But it is definitely one of those things where I think India specifically too is just, people there are obviously very focused on technology and the future. And so like people that are going to get the cars probably already know about it. They're not being informed about it. They probably already follow technology. They follow Elon. They follow the company. And so for them, the ones that are going to come to the table are the ones who've been following it. But again, we'll see how that market adjusts and if Tesla decides to potentially establish a supply chain there, which could help. But again, it's different than, let's say, trying to get into like a China, for example, which I don't know. Maybe Brian, I don't know if you have thoughts, but is China or India a harder market to get into and do well?
Sure. If you asked me 6-7 years ago, I would have said equal. But China softened. China decided we need these foreign companies to come in and do business. They created the new program by which companies were allowed to wholly own their Chinese partners. Prior to that, you had to have a 50% domestic partner. In some cases, that would be a local company that's good at supply or distribution or something like that. But in many cases, it was just a figurehead who just stepped in and got half your profit. Great. Lucky them. It's like winning the lottery. And they softened that to say, no, you can have wholly owned foreign companies here. Tesla was the very first one to jump on it. Many other companies.
Oh, he muted himself.
Many other companies have done so since then. Get back on the right mic. Get back on the. There we go. Companies have done so since then, but but India is more difficult at this time for any country to get their companies into because they're so protectionist. They really would like to have Tesla there. They want them there paying taxes and bringing jobs.
Yeah.
But not if it means that Tata Motors will be diminished or Mahindra will lose market share, which they would. Those companies command, a huge, like 80% of the market. Tesla would obviously chew into that. There's no way they couldn't, even if they only sell 10 or 100 or 1,000 cars, they're going to chew into it. So I would say India is much harder to get into, but that doesn't mean it's not worth it.
Well, the good thing for Tesla is that they really want to be there.
Yeah, well, it appears so. And I would say that India may very well be where China was 25 years ago. In 25 years, we might be looking at India and going, boy, how are people sleeping on this? And
yeah,
but it's tough to say.
Yeah, with the amount of people there, there's no reason not to try to make some moves. And the way Tesla is, and again, I remember whether it was Jeff Lutz or even Amy just talking about kind of like the things you would have to do to remove some of these tariffs and just like obviously like building up the local supply chain and a factory probably there. But yeah, we'll see. It's either way, it's good that they're looking to get into the market. That they are now in the market and starting to sell cars and starting to set up these pop-up stores throughout the major cities. All right. Joe, this one's to you, man.
Well, he commented on your post. Yeah, the Robovan is coming.
And yeah, look, I love how you have the little Grok image on the right. No, yeah. So yeah, so I did something that said the future should look like the future, the Robovan. And Tesla and Elon commented and said it's coming. But yeah, I mean, this is, the insane thing is that Tesla never releases a prototype unless they're actually going to build it. I think the Cybercab and even the Model Y, as they get into robotaxi status and really fully autonomous, this will pave the way. So who knows when this will come exactly? But it's definitely something that I think will, really help with like mass transportation. I mean, even if you look at the Zoox thing that they kind of have it set up in a similar-ish way. Obviously, they have the wheels and stuff, but it's in a way where you can just like sit in it and look at each other. This is definitely set up like that it's meant for mass transport as far as like up to 20 people take deliveries and things like that.
Well, and unlike the Zoox, the Robovan has room for a DJ, which I think is, of course, important for my travel.
The most important thing, dude.
Clearly, the buffet is at the other side. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, Joe, do you want to tell us about what this is? What is the
This
upbeat about?
this is the upbeat. We are going into an area of unknown charted. No, just a quick little tidbits of information. See what our panelists have to say about it. Quick takes, and go from there.
All right, Brian, you get to deal with the first one.
Oh boy.
All right, possible Optimus actuators. I believe Tesla is collaborating with Sumitomo Drive Technologies in Langley, British Columbia, on gearbox or reducer prototypes.
I have terrible news for you. I know a little bit about this story from
Uh oh.
people who are under NDA, and that right there is an answer. But there, Tesla may have purchased this company sometime not too long ago. It is in Vancouver, BC. It's only a couple 100 miles from where I live. It's closer than you guys are to Lost Hills. And this is a company that's been making these ultra precise actuators. And who would need those? And for what? Well, Optimus needs ultra precise, ultra reliable actuators. And is Tesla going to be here's a better question. Has Tesla posted job postings in Vancouver, BC with descriptions that look very similar to what this company does? The answer is yes, they have. So could be probably nothing, as Joe would say. But this is one more piece of the puzzle, and a very complicated piece. When talking with Dr. Scott Walter, he said that the actuators are what's holding back the entire industry. There's two big obstacles. The hand is one, but a subset of that is the actuators, the little tiny motors that control the hand. Making a robot hand that looks great and works great is easy. Making it reliable enough to work for even a full day, let alone a year or two, is much more complicated. And that's where Tesla and everyone else is hitting the wall.
Yeah, because this is one product that, unlike the car, you don't want to have to bring it in for service or have somebody come out more times than not. You want it to just work. It's got to just work and just be there. And you know what I mean? Like, not like every year need this and every year need that. So yeah, they gotta nail it. And I think that's probably one of the talking points that kind of gets missed a lot. And Scott Walters is a very good source for that information. But yeah, like Hans talks about it too. He mentions like the actuators and the reliability of parts over time. And so I think this is like just one of those things that people don't really talk about, but it needs to be part of the discussion. Like the reliability. Yeah, you can get a robot, but how long is it good for? And what's the, you know what I mean? What can it do for him for how long? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's always the hard one. Well, I mean, you can see it with Tesla, right? I mean, you see the what is it, the 2020 through 2024 Model Ys, and then you get the latest version. Even within there, like, you know, I think they went from hardware 3 to hardware 4, even within that. So the problem with buying like literally like a computer that walks around is the fact that, you know, there is going to be chips that are going to be faster, storage that's going to be faster. And then even with Tesla, with the whole manufacturing and all this other stuff, that stuff is always just going to get better. Like you saw it with the Cybertruck, the Foundation series, when it came out versus what they're selling today. I'm not going to say it's night and day, but the thing, like the new trucks that are going out the line today, they're close to perfect as far as like just really being a great car, versus the first couple thousand, you know, had a bunch of issues. And so you know, but like I said, the hand is the hardest engineering problem that they have to work out. And it's kind of crazy how Tesla just goes, hey, like, we're going to recreate the eye with Tesla Vision. And then they're like, this the actuators to like literally make this, but they're not trying to get like a 3-prong thing trying to like grab it, right? What they're trying to do is reinvent this and make the full capabilities. And then again, as Joe and Brian were saying, making it reliable and, you know, something that can last long without a lot of repairs, that's a different beast. But the good thing is, who's out there solving this problem? It's Tesla. There's no other company that I would want engineering and building this, because they've pretty much had to build, my understanding is like the whole robot themselves. They can't call up Joe's Supply and just be like, hey, can you send me some feet? Like, they're doing everything themselves.
Yeah, I think manufacturing is their strong suit. So I think they'll be able to make plenty of them. I think, like you're saying, like once they get this ball rolling, iterations are not going to be a problem. Version 1, version 2, or whatever. I think people will love to upgrade, and I think used market for these things, like later on, whoever gets a version 1 in 2035 versus the version 2 that comes out in 2035 or whatever, is going to be just as pleased. You know what I mean? Like, you're talking about a freaking robot. So I think versions won't be a problem. But manufacturing is what Tesla does, and man, they are beasts at it. So you already know they're going to make plenty of these things.
What I would say they're every bit as good at manufacturing is designing something from scratch, from a blank sheet. It is something that they've done with their cars, with their batteries, with everything they've designed, is say, if this didn't exist before, forget everything you know. Where would you start? What would you do? And that's why in the early days, they were approached by suppliers saying, don't make your own software. Let us sell you software, whether it's in packages or bundles or modules or whatever it may be. Just buy Green Hills software. And Elon said, no, we're going to do it in house. And the CEO of that company was like, you will rue the day you crossed me. And then he put on his clown makeup and threw mannequins in front of cars, because that's what he does. Tesla's willing to do the hard work to start from nothing. And like John was saying, those parts just did not exist.
Pretty much. All right, Joe, charge rate rage. $130 to charge is straight up theft from Cybertruck guy.
Yeah, no, Kyle Connor was upset. Like, I mean, at this point, you're like I put, like, you can hinder adoption. People want less maintenance. They want a cheaper vehicle. Electricity's cheaper than gas. But if you start hiking these prices up to above like 50 to 60, cents per kilowatt hour, like, that's insane. And now you're looking at, why would I do that when I could just pay the same for gas? I mean, you're not going to be able to make that distinction. And I mean, that's a problem. So who killed the electric car? Greed.
GM.
Well, and John, you joke GM, but that's GM is the movie. GM is the subject of this complaint here. And honestly, 58 cents, not at Tesla stations, but I've seen Kyle post at Electrify America where it hit $1. That would have been a $222 fill up. And people go, well, what's the point of it? Well, first of all, why are you buying a GM? That's got 3 Model Y batteries in it. Of course, it's going to be expensive to fill. Look at what you're driving. Why did you do that?
Yeah.
I said I would never pay that much for 2 reasons. One, the overwhelming majority of my charging is at home, where it's about 80% cheaper per kilowatt. And the second reason is I'm not buying an Escalade IQ. None of the oversized beasts are what I need. You look at a Cybertruck is big, it's capable, it's fun, it's fast, it's everything. And the battery is 40% smaller than they put in the Escalade. Come on.
Yeah, I think Joe, you mentioned it, right, is just one of the reasons for the adoption of like EVs, right, in the early days, obviously, is the maintenance and the cost of gas, right? It's just, and that's the perks of it. I have seen, Tesla charge. I feel like I've seen 50 cents before on some of them, but I'm hoping part of it's in their control, part of it's out of their control. I think part of it is the, if they are renting on the land, it might be controlled a little bit by them, but hopefully we don't see this, because that's a tank of gas right there. I don't know if that's a tank of gas specifically in an Escalade. I don't know if it's closer to 200. But I will say that, like, I mean, I personally, I wouldn't be buying an Escalade because, as Brian was saying, you're buying a 220 kilowatt battery, something insane. It's the double stacked Oreo, as we call it, right? not efficient. You're also gonna, unless you're charging it at a Tesla network, you're gonna get a really subpar experience. But charging 60 cents a kilowatt hour is just, it's gonna. I would ask the question too: why am I switching to this, getting this experience, and being charged this? You know what I mean?
I looked up to see the other day when this was posted. 28.3 gallons is the size of the top end Escalade gas tank. You can do that math for your own state. In my state, it came out to I think 120. In California, it would certainly
Oh,
be over 130. Yeah, so I don't know what your gas prices are, but it adds up in a hurry.
in a hurry.
Yeah, I have no idea. Gas prices are hilarious.
I had to look it up. I had no idea.
All right,
Struggle.
Brian. Cybertruck charge hero. Cybertruck to the rescue. This Tesla owner ran out of charge 100 feet from the supercharge and couldn't move.
That's the problem. These electric cars are just no good. If I run out of, if a storm knocks out my power, how am I going to get power to my car? I'll just go to the gas station where pumps are powered magically and don't require electricity. This is going to be more and more common. You can charge at level 2 from a Cybertruck, and for that matter, from a Silverado and a Lightning. You can charge at a high level 1 from a new Model Y Performance. And if you only need to get that last 100 feet, if somebody's there with a Model Y that has the power share adapter on it, they could plug you in, and it wouldn't be 5 minutes. Maybe it would be 10 or 12 minutes to get you enough juice to boot back up and get over to the charger. Nobody is willing to siphon their gas tank for me. As much as I recommend it, I really recommend it.
Can you imagine?
Yes, I'm old enough, and so are you, that we can imagine, because that was a thing. Don't do that. So this is just one of the extra little benefits of having a modern electric vehicle, is that you can do that. The other thing is, and people often, I've got, aren't you worried you're going to run out? No, never, because my car actually tells me how much range I have left. And unlike on my gas car, where sometimes on a road trip, I'd look down and have a panic attack because I don't know where the next gas station is. I'm in Montana and I realize I'm on empty already. Am I going to make it? My car is, if I try doing that in my car, it'll just route me to a charger and say, buddy, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And when I leave in the morning, I can't tell you how many times getting the kids to a doctor's appointment, I'd get up in the morning and go, oh no, we have to stop and get gas on the way. I never leave my house and go, oh man, I forgot, that's not how it works. You plug in when you get home. And if you are parked at home at the place that you have designated as your home, and you are below 50% of what you have set as your charge limit, and you're not plugged in, you'll get a push notification to your phone saying, hey, dumbass, did you mean to plug in? And one time I was like, oh, I did mean to plug in. Yes, thank you. So it's a better experience, folks. I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah. All right, Joe, FSD reaction time is better than human.
Yeah, this is both of these stories are actually pretty cool. Clifford was leaving the shareholders meeting and a driver merged in his lane head on with him, and he was on FSD and the truck swerved out of the way. But I think, geez, in the last 2 weeks, we've seen head-on collisions like just destroy families from a previous situation. There was two that I can think of anyway. One Cybertruck and one not a Cybertruck. But the other one was the deer that you can barely see, but also he was on FSD and it paused and he was like, what the heck is happening? He had to go back and look at the footage to figure out why it had done so.
Yeah. Why is my car phantom braking? It's not a phantom. That's a deer. On Clifford's story, on Clifford's story, Clifford's from our Northwest group. He and Ellie shot at a meetup we had last week. And what happened is Clifford's driving. He's on the road, as you could see, and then some full meat driver coming the other direction decides I can pass this semi in the dark slowly. And before Clifford could tell what was happening, the Cybertruck had swerved as aggressively as it could to get out of the way. It still knocked his mirror off. It still broke his driver's side window, not through, didn't shatter it. It's still there. It's just broken. He's waiting for his appointment last I talked to him, and it saved his life. He would have been involved in a high-speed head-on collision with a Silverado, and that's and of course Dan O'Dowd then says, see how dangerous it is. No, Dan, the opposite. Literally the opposite. This is FSD saving lives. So yeah, it was a great story.
Just a great one.
Dirty Tesla has some really cool videos of him and Kyle too. Like that was pretty awesome to see it like just avoid all kinds of things.
Yep. Yeah,
they're keep away.
Exactly. If you don't know, Dirty Tesla and them, they have like a private closed road that they've been doing a ton of testing, unleashing a bunch of just random things falling in front of the Tesla to see how it'll react. Even a car, they were even taking a car trying to like almost run it over and just see how it all worked. So it was pretty cool. All right, guys, to close things out, a couple of things. If you are a member, please make sure to check your emails. There's a bunch of Black Friday deals that we sent out earlier this week. We do have a off the grid channel if you want to see us kind of behind the scenes, just doing other things that are kind of like not typical to this channel. Check it out. And then just two things coming up. We're doing a live stream with patient number 7 from Neuralink. This will be our 5th patient that we'll be interviewing. So looking forward to that on December 2nd. And then lastly, I know actually, Brian is officially coming and he's making a whole trek out of it. And actually, Brian, let me know if you got access to Giga Nevada. I might be able to help you there. But December 13th, long story short, we have our annual holiday toy party. And this is what's really special is this is across the street from the engineering headquarters at Tesla, where we've gotten permits with Palo Alto Fire and Police Department to block off the whole road to do a light show. But it's pretty much going to be a block party. But really, the special thing is being able to give back and bring some toys. So stop by Target or whatever, Walmart, whatever's local to you. And we are hoping and looking forward to making just a big impact for some kids this holiday season that are underserved. And but most importantly, we would love to see you there December 13th. So it's from 1 to 5. And with that, we will see you guys all next time on episode 123. We missed you, Hans, if you're watching. And we will catch you guys all next Friday at 8 a.m. PST.